Elite Facts presents
8 insane purchases made by celebrities. Being a rich celebrity essentially gives you the right to buy some pretty ridiculous things without too much question. Now, we're not judging. We're sure that if we had millions and millions of dollars ourselves, we'd buy some pretty ridiculous stuff too. However, the things included on this list range from some pretty cool items to some things that just make you scratch your head in confusion. So without further ado, here are 8 insane purchases made by celebrities. 8. Nicolas Cage. Can we all agree that Nicolas Cage is so crazy that he's just amazing? Like, seriously, from the sounds of it, he just isn't playing a role, he's just plain wacky. Don't believe us? It was reported that he bought an octopus for $150,000 so that it would help him with his acting. We're being dead serious here. Although he's no stranger to buying exotic and rare items for his amusement, it's hard to sympathize with Nicolas Cage and his mountain of debt. Now, the octopus was an insane purchase, we get that. But instead of living like any normal celebrity, Nicolas Cage decided that he wanted to live like royalty. Among his laundry list of extravagant purchases was a 28-room Bavarian castle. I mean, hey, if you've got the cash, then why not? The actor was sadly forced to sell it in 2009 due to the, quote, difficult economic situation.
7.
Nicolas Cage, again. Well, we did say that he had a long list of extravagant purchases, and here's probably his craziest in terms of how much he paid for the item. So, did you know that Nicolas Cage was an avid comic book collector? In fact, he has been described as a consummate collector of comic books. His lifelong passion has manifested itself in many ways. Although his real name is Nicholas Coppola, if you didn't know, he's actually the nephew of legendary film director Francis Ford Coppola, the man behind the Godfather trilogy. He took the name of Cage from the Marvel comic book hero Luke Cage. Along with starring in comic book adaptations such as Ghost Rider, he's written a comic book series along with his oldest son Weston titled Voodoo Child, and his son with his third wife, Alice Kim Cage, is named Kal-El, the given name of Superman on his home planet of Krypton. It should also be mentioned that Nicolas Cage almost actually played the Man of Steel himself back in the 1990s. At this point, you're probably asking us, where are we going with this? Well, most of us won't pay over $3 or $4 for a single comic book issue, unless we're talking about a compendium or something like that. So how about spending $1 million on just one comic book issue? Well, Nicolas Cage did just that. Now, to be fair, this was the very first issue of Action Comics from way back in 1938, featuring the first appearance of Superman, so its value is obviously going to be that high if it's in good condition. Unfortunately for Cage, this comic was stolen in 2000 and was found in a storage locker 11 years later. Its price has since doubled, and it's worth around $2.1 million.
6.
Kim Basinger's $20 million town. Ha! Nicolas Cage bought a castle? What, he couldn't afford an entire city? What a loser. But seriously, back in the 1980s and early 90s, Kim Basinger was kind of on top of the world. She appeared in several blockbuster films and was a household name. So obviously, a celebrity of that caliber must have a huge house, right? Well, not quite. Don't get us wrong, she spared no expense. She went above and beyond as she decided to say screw buying a mansion and screw buying a castle. Nope, instead she decided to buy an entire town in Georgia for $20 million back in 1989. She could have bought an island in Barbados or a lifetime supply of Cool Ranch Doritos, but no, she went with Brazelton, Georgia. Her intention was to turn the town into a massive tourist attraction. However, she filed for bankruptcy 5 years later and sold the town for a loss.
5.
Bono's $1,700 plane ticket for his hat. Let's say you've decided to go on vacation, but you accidentally left your favorite hat at home. Now, let's also say that you really can't enjoy your vacation without said hat. What would you do? Would you A, find another hat and go on with your life like any normal person, B, have it shipped overnight by FedEx, C, spend $1,700 to have it delivered on an airplane, or D, admit yourself into a mental asylum because you're actually willing to spend $1,700 on a plane ticket just to bring your hat on vacation? Like, seriously, who does that? Well, we'll tell you who. U2 frontman Bono, of course. If you're Bono, the logical answer is apparently C. What an absolute waste of money over something so ridiculous. My apologies to any fans of Bono, but this is just plain stupid. No pun intended.
4.
Nicolas Cage again. Nicolas Cage and his $276,000 dinosaur skull, to be exact. God damn it, Nick, put the cash away for once. So as if buying an octopus, a castle, and an extremely rare comic book wasn't insane enough, he goes and buys the one thing you could just go to a museum to view for way less. Way less. Nick Cage literally defines excess. Quite possibly his most strange, okay, no, the octopus is still stranger, but definitely one of the more pointless purchases he's made has to be the dinosaur skull he bought for $276,000. Again, why? Just go to a museum. What makes this even stranger is that he had to outbid Leonardo DiCaprio, of all people, in order to gain ownership of the skull for himself back in 2007. Just reading that sentence leaves me nonplussed. Okay, we're not mentioning Nicolas Cage on this list again, but here's an additional purchase of his. Consider it an honorable mention. Nicolas Cage purchased several king cobras. On top of this, he also purchased the antidote serum in case they bit him. He has also purchased two islands in the Bahamas.
3.
Daniel Radcliffe and his $17,000 mattress. So let's put this into perspective. Most 22-year-olds out there who don't currently live with their parents usually pay less than $17,000 a year on rent. Daniel Radcliffe, however, spends that same amount of cash on just one mattress. Just let that sink in for a moment. Okay, we good? It sunk in? All right. So for a guy who was paid $320,000 at the age of 11 for the first 2 Harry Potter films, $17,000 is just pocket change. But just because you can afford it doesn't mean the purchase is any less unnecessary and insane.
2.
Mike Tyson and his $140,000 Bengal tigers. If there's one guy we believe could tame a tiger, it's Mike Tyson. So when compared to most of the other purchases mentioned on this list, this purchase is just downright badass. I mean, think about it. Could you imagine your friends' faces when you roll up to your front door with 2 white Bengal tigers by your sides? They'd crap themselves. I mean, Mike Tyson is a scary guy as is. Giving him 2 Bengal tigers is just downright terrifying, but awesome at the same time. And to be fair, this certainly isn't the craziest purchase Mike Tyson has made, as he did spend $2.2 million on a solid gold bathtub.
1.
Donald Trump's golden jet. Listen, before we go any further, we apologize to those watching. We're done with politics. We're completely burnt out after this past November. Both candidates sucked, so let's move on. So what a surprise, Donald Trump, a billionaire, has made a ridiculous purchase. To be honest, it's not surprising in the slightest. So what did he buy? A jet. Okay, again, nothing special there. Almost every millionaire or billionaire owns or has at least contemplated owning a jet. Well, this isn't just any regular jet. This jet is a Boeing 757 that he purchased from Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen. This plane is bedecked in the familiar black and gold theme that Trump seems to favor. It's twice the size of Trump's original Boeing 727 and is covered in 24-karat gold, right down to the seat belt buckles. We're not even joking. It has room for up to 230 passengers, though it seems unlikely that Trump would want to share a 52-inch flat-screen TV with over 1,000 of his favorite films with anyone other than a family member. Why do we imagine that he only has Home Alone 2 and the election results playing over and over again on the television anyway? Did we leave any insane purchases out that you've heard of? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.